What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Remains Backstage. I am Carlos in New York City, and today we have with us Sonia Anubis from Cobra Spell.
Hello.
Hi, Sonia. Welcome back to Metal Remains. We are so happy to have you again. Today is December 1st of 2023, and today is the release date of your debut album, 666. Congratulations. How are you feeling about it?
Honestly, I'm pretty easygoing today. It's a very special day for the band because obviously it's the first album. It's the debut album.
Yeah.
It's coming out today. Yeah, I've been taking it easy. I am staying off my phone because I like to live the moment a little bit. So I'm not sure how it's doing, how it's performing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm soon gonna bake a cake to celebrate the release. Yeah,
Nice, nice. Share some pictures on your profile if you
yeah,
can.
I'll do
Awesome,
so.
awesome, awesome. When Manuel talked to you in Madrid last year, he asked you about music you listen just for fun. So today I'm going to change the question a little bit and I'm going to ask for a band or artist that you have seen live lately.
Whoa, I haven't been at a live show in a while. Right now, the only shows that I have really have been the ones that I have played.
Hmm.
But a show that I have recently seen. Actually, I have gone to see Crypta earlier this year, and that's
Oh,
funny because
yeah,
I have been part of that band, so it's a
yeah.
it's a fun fact. Yeah, I have gone to see them play live.
How did you feel see the girls playing there?
Such an emotional moment,
Yeah.
really, to see the songs. I mean, for me, Echoes of the Soul is a very important album.
Hmm.
It holds a lot of emotion, a lot of experiences. I learned a lot. It was very difficult to record, of course. My first death metal album that I recorded as a guitar player, and it requires a certain, you know,
Right.
speed, and everything, and hearing that all being played live and from a third person was like, wow. I still feel like I'm part of it,
Yes, you
because
are. You are part of that history.
and
Yes.
they dedicated one of the songs to me, and they were so nice. We hanged out backstage and we had some laughs and all good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it was
That
awesome.
was that was a great moment. Your debut album is entitled 666, and the
Six.
cover art depicts a sexy and powerful lady dominated a beast or a demon. I'm not sure what it is. And this might appear to indicate that the album is about worship and the devil, but for those confused by the title, can you explain what the album is really about?
The album is about rebellion. It's about women in power, and yeah, pretty much about power. It's some kind of um, liberation of expression for women, liberation of sexuality, um, and also celebration as a all-female formation. Um, it's many things, honestly, and I cannot say it's just one word, but I would say it's
Right,
very a rebellious album for sure.
right,
And
right.
and since it's so rebellious, I wanted a very edgy name, and it belonged in the theme of the album to be very edgy and
Mhm.
and use the imagery of the devil because it's such a it's the devil is always portrayed as the opposition,
Yeah.
that individualistic figure that is against something.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with this album, I wanted to make a lot of statements that might be a little bit taboo sometimes, express myself in a way that it can be a little bit of a taboo for and yeah, I think it's just a rebellious album.
Right, right. When you dig into the lyrics, then you start noticing that that's the direction of the entire album, and that's the message that you guys are screaming out to the world.
Right.
Yeah. Is there a song that holds the essence of the album and can represent it as a whole?
I don't think so, because I would say there is two overall in the whole album there is two themes. You have the theme of being a black sheep,
Mhm,
and in a black sheep in a certain situation with this, you're like an outsider, um because of um the way you are, and
mhm,
that would be related to maybe in the story of The Devil Inside of Me speaks about that situation. And there is songs that speak about female empowerment,
mhm,
um and we are using songs with a certain women in power as within an alter ego. Satan is a woman, for example, Warrior from Hell.
yeah.
um and those, that would be the category of women empowerment. So I would say that it's hard to choose one song that defines the whole album. I don't think I can do that.
Right. And when you listen to the entire album, it's really hard to pick which song is the best because all of them are brilliant.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Now, the single Flaming Heart that you previously released didn't make it to the album. Is there any particular reason why?
Not really. I really didn't think about it. I saw that people were reacting at, oh, a Flaming Heart is not in the album.
Mhm,
Um, as it didn't even come to my mind to do that, as much as I probably am not allowed to do that because it's already a previously released song, and we're releasing an album with a label,
mhm.
and we had
Ah, I
to
see. Okay.
deliver original new material. And Flaming Heart is a song that is independently released,
Right,
so
right.
we couldn't add that in a new album. But I didn't even think about it, so I honestly, I don't think it belongs either in there either, because
Right,
the lyrics belong into a different time.
right, right, right. And
Yeah.
we got the promo thanks to Napalm Records. That's why we have listened to the whole album. And I found a song that have certain similarities to Flaming Heart, and I'm talking about Love Equals Love.
Mhm.
Obviously, the lyrics are different, and there is this saxophone that elevates the whole track. That was a really, really nice surprise to have a sax on that song.
I know it's a very spontaneous decision though.
That's
Something
very
that,
80s, by the way.
yeah. I was at the studio together with the producer, and I was planning on how to say it, improvising a guitar solo on top of that section of the song.
Hmm.
And I thought, no, here I can't make that section justice. I think a saxophone should be there. I was so convinced about that. And I told the producer, and he said, okay, let's see if I know someone that can do that. And he called the right guy,
Hmm.
a saxophonist named Nata Estevez. And he doesn't particularly play rock music, he's more of a jazz musician. But the solo that he improvised on top of that was amazing.
Wow,
Amazing.
that's great. That's great.
And yeah, I never thought that it would happen with Cobra Spell, but why not?
It feels, it fits perfectly. And I think in today's music, we miss that instrument because it gives another flavor to the music. It's so, I don't know, sensual and different than a guitar or a keyboard. So it was a great choice.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's
um,
by Sophonist. We'll tell him.
yeah, yeah, please do. And Sonia, you are a young, gifted musician. Every riff, every lick, every solo on this album shines, but you're also a leader. And as a leader, sometimes decisions must be made to accomplish a goal. So, in that matter, what has been for you one of those difficult decisions to make this album come to life?
Good question, and thank you so much for the compliments.
Mhm,
Um, Leading Cobra Spell is challenging, but it's something that I do with a lot of love. And I think the hardest thing um, would be the investment of the album, like the financial investment, choosing how much money goes into things
mhm,
is very hard. I'm the sole investor in Cobra Spell, so I'm spending my own savings on everything, like the
mhm,
production, the music videos, and everything.
mhm.
Extremely expensive, and thousands of euros, you know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, this is very hard to deal with because it's investments that I expect to pay themselves back in maybe 1 or 2 years.
Mhm,
And living with this pressure is obviously very hard. So I'm of course hoping that the album performs well, that the people like it, so I can survive. And yeah, that's probably the hardest part about leading the band and having that responsibility, the financial section of it. Some people, obviously nobody knows this because it's not something that you're going to share on social media, like, oh, we just spent this on the album.
right.
But of course it's the hardest part.
Yeah, I think sometimes people don't realize that being an independent musician or just trying to live out from being a musician from music, it's like being an entrepreneur that you have your own uh, business, your own small company, and you're trying to live out of it, right? All those
Right.
sacrifices are the same,
Yeah, it's tough as a musician, and we are even signed with a major label, and still it's a big investment. Can you imagine?
right?
um so but we're lucky that we can distribute the album worldwide, which means that we can spread our music in bigger scale, and this is what Cobra Spell needs to grow and outside of just the European region, and get out there. And that's
Right?
we hope that with this debut album we can grow further.
Yes, you will, I'm sure. Sonia, as an artist, why is it important for you to keep the flame of the 80s alive, even when you weren't born during that decade?
Because there's a certain unique mood from that decade. It's such a festive, out of the world decade. It's like so crazy, so many colors, so many action. Everything in the 80s was over the top, and there was a
Mhm.
lot of fun going
A
on.
lot of excesses everywhere.
Yeah, excess and more is more, you know what I mean? That kind of mentality. I don't agree in certain things, of course, when more is more, but I think the aesthetic, the sound in the movies, you know, overall, um, a lot of things from the 80s are just awesome.
There,
Certainly.
there's a line there's a line, and I'm sorry to bring another band into the conversation, but there is a line from this band, Steel Panther, from their song 1987, and they are saying that was the year where it says something like that was the year where boys were using makeup and lipstick, and nobody seems to care about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know that we somehow went some steps back because when boys dress in a certain way now it's, well, at least in in the Netherlands, when I was in the Netherlands, yeah, it depends on each country. Sometimes certain things are still a little bit controversial when it has already been done in the past. Of course, we have progressed in many aspects,
Yeah,
um, but I sometimes feel like we are not progressing and going backwards. And I think we can take a lot of cool stuff from the 80s. Not everything, but
yeah,
many cool stuff. And one of the things that I want to take is the fun, the insane stage performances, the color, the energy. Um, the melodies, like
Yeah.
the sense of melody of the 80s is amazing. If you listen to the
The
compositions,
saxophones.
oh, it's just beautiful. I feel like music right now is very nothing wrong with rhythm, but it's very simple and it's very based on the drum and the bass. It's like more drum and bass based.
Yeah, yeah.
And melodies become very simple because people want very memorable, easy melodies to listen to.
Hmm.
And there's something about the compositions in the 80s. They played a lot more with R&B and soul and
Hmm.
more jazz influenced pop songs. And I don't know, it was very interesting. The key changes there. I like that. I'm totally a nerd about the sound of the
Yeah,
80s. So,
it feels like they were exploring more.
right?
Uh, yeah, yeah,
Totally.
definitely.
And it's funny because a lot of producers from these days are trying to bring the 80s sound back and they use the 80s synthesizers to reach
Hmm.
that sound. And yeah, it's been a very, very important decade for
Right.
music.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree with you 100%. Um, we are approaching the end of the year 2023. Is it possible for you to comment on future touring plans in 2024?
So right now we have a Spanish tour announced. This is going to be in April. We are working on a European tour. I cannot yet announce anything with you about it, but we are working on it.
Hmm.
Everything is going to be the next year, 2024.
España, you are next.
Yes. And yeah, definitely we're hoping to come ever in the United States or in South America, Middle America, Japan. I mean, I would love to go outside of Europe. Let's see if there comes any awesome opportunity.
Mhm.
But for now, we're aiming to do a European tour if possible.
Okay,
Yes.
great, great. And Sonia, to wrap up this chat, can you share with us one of your favorite backstage stories?
And one of my favorite backstage stories, I have to think about that one.
I'm sure you have many. You have been in three bands that I know.
I think it's not particularly like humorous, but I've been practicing fire breathing
Fire
backstage.
breathing. What?
Fire breathing,
Inside of a room?
not inside. And I had to take a fire extinguisher with me, and everyone was like, "What the hell is this girl doing here? Fire extinguisher."
Oh my
And
God.
that was an interesting. That was an interesting story. We have fun little stories like,
Are you planning to do that in a Cobra Spell show?
yeah, I did it.
You did it. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But I
Really?
had to practice.
Wow.
I had to practice. Well, there was like a parking behind the venue, and I
Hmm.
was out there, and the cars of the fans were parked there, like the audience, and I was there out fire breathing, like I'm gonna have to do this on stage, so I might as well practice a little bit, like with a fire, like with a torch and with the fire, and
Wow.
yeah, but I want to do it next year maybe, but I need to have extra people with me when I'm doing it, and it's that's what.
You should take a professional photo doing that.
Yeah, so if I do it, I have to take a fire extinguisher with me. So I'm
Yes,
out
of
there with a
course.
fire extinguisher, and
Safety first.
so yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like if I swallow the material that I'm putting in my mouth, 15 minutes and I'm dead. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's dangerous stuff. So don't do it at home, kids,
yeah.
and
Don't do it.
nobody, don't do it at home.
There was
I have
this.
trained it though. I have trained it.
Yeah, you have to. And I saw a video, and I'm sorry to keep bringing things that don't belong to Cobra Spell, but I saw a video when Pantera reunited and they went on tour in South America. They were playing in Chile in a big stadium,
Hmm.
and there was a guy in the middle of the crowd doing the flamethrowing, and and that place was full of people, and everybody was making room for him, and they were moshing around the flames. That was insane.
That sounds very metal though.
Yeah, it does.
I hope people were careful though and nobody got burned from that.
I hope so too. Yeah, yeah. And Sonia, since we decided to make this in English, I just wanted to take advantage of the fact that you speak Spanish and maybe ask you if you wanted to say something in Spanish to the community that speaks Spanish and are looking forward for the album.
Bueno, pues en principio quiero deciros a todos un montón de gracias por el apoyo que estamos recibiendo. Tenemos un montón de ganas de visitar todos los países que hablan español. Para nosotros es muy importante porque gran parte de nuestra banda está situada en España. Tenemos a Roxy, que es de Venezuela, a la baterista Ale y la bajista Roxy, que vive en España. Yo soy medio española y para nosotros sería súper guay tocar por Latinoamérica, tocar por España, Brasil, todos esos países nos encantaría venir, México. No podemos esperar, o sea que esparcer la música de Cobra Spell lo máximo posible con vuestros amigos y esperemos que muy pronto podamos venir para allá y tocar un show súper, súper, súper 80s. Que vamos a take back the 80s.
Yeah, an 80s party with Cobra
Yeah,
Spell.
make an 80s
Yeah,
party.
yeah, nice. If you like this video, please give us a like, share it with your friends, consider to subscribe to our channel, also support Cobra Spell by buying or streaming their new album, catch them on the road when they come to a city near you, because that is the only way to support the bands and the music that we love. See you next time, but until then, stay metal. And stay
Cobra Spell
80s.
wouldn't be where we are without our fans. So really, thank you so much, guys. Really.
All right, great, great. I wanted to ask you if you have checked the debut album from this band called Dogma.
Dogma, no.
It's an old,
The
it's an
name
old
sounds
female
very
band. They are heavy metal, maybe, with
wow.
80s influences, and they do black magic. I don't know how they do what they do, but those songs stick into your brain, and I don't know. It's impossible not to like what they do.
Wow, it's very interesting.
It will
Yeah,
be a dream. It will be a dream if one day a tour will be announced and Cobra Spell will be touring with
so
Dogma together. That will
very
be a
cool.
blast.
I will check it out for sure.
All right. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day today. We want this band to have a successful career, and you as well.
Thank you, Carlos. Hope to
All right.
speak you on the next album or anytime on tour in New York. I hope to play there sometime.
Bye.
Yes.